Yo and hello everybody, Mike here, baseball collector. Happy Monday, another week into December now. Absolutely, this year is flying by. Just wanted to say a few things and show off a few cards. Man, what a great freaking weekend. I had the disappointment on Saturday of TCU losing in overtime in the Big 12 championship game. If you didn't watch that game, what a gritty effort. I mean, Kansas State they're a really good team. They're in the top 10 now for the CFP in the final rankings. So they're really good. TCU barely beat them last time, having to come back. They tried to come back again, went for the gusto, went for the win, didn't make it. Max Duggan might win the Heisman, for crying out loud, their quarterback. So it was just disappointing, but I felt good about them making the college football playoff. But Sunday morning, I'm in church and I'm literally kind of had it down there, watching ESPN and watching the college football playoff selection show and listening to the sermon. And they announced, they put up Georgia, then Michigan, then TCU in the third spot. And I kind of did a quiet fist pump while I was sitting there. And so I totally think they deserve it. So to me, it's about putting the best the four best teams that had the best seasons, not putting the four best teams in every year, because you'd put Alabama in every year regardless of their record. And so who had the four best seasons? Those are the four teams that should be in the college football playoff. So that is a done deal. So now we await December 31st for the Michigan versus TCU game. I can't wait for that. Then we had yesterday was, this jam-packed. You had the college football playoff announcement, which I was significantly invested in emotionally. Then we had later on the Cowboys were going to play against the Colts, and they let the Colts hang around and then turned and just beat the crap out of them in the fourth quarter. The second highest fourth quarter points scored ever in NFL history. That's 33 points. They blew it open. And then, of course, we had the Hall of Fame announcement last night for the Era Committee. And I did a live stream over on Bench Clear with Frank and Jake, two of my Hall of Fame loving contemporaries. And we were able to talk through who we thought should get in and all that. Did Fred McGriff deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Absolutely. Long overdue. He's long been penalized for playing in an era that had googly eye stats and never put up googly eye numbers, but he did put up incredibly consistent and steady numbers. He was really, really good. And I remember thinking that watching him, he passed my eye test too a long, long time ago. And so I thought that was well deserved for Fred McGriff. And we're going to show a couple Fred McGriff things here in a second. But I do not understand for the life of me, and there are so many people that disagree with me, including writers and apparently players, that Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens are not in the Hall of Fame. And for that matter, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Rafael Palmeiro, pick your Roy's the guy, right? Any of them. Sheffield, Manny Ramirez. To me, it's such an egregious oversight. It's so frustrating that you don't look at it and go, I get it. I get why you don't want them to be in. If they cheated they cheated. Man, it's tough. Somebody, I'm so glad there's no cheaters in, or they're not continuing to then you need to go back and take out about, well, I don't know what percent. You need to take out a lot of guys out of the Hall of Fame that are in there currently if you want to get rid of all the cheaters. I mean, for crying out loud, Gaylord Perry threw the spitball and doctored balls, and he's beloved. Like, I don't get it. There's such a double standard. There's such a hypocrisy to all of it. Just let them in. Let the great players in. You can't say Barry Bonds wasn't a great player. Roids or not. You can't. He was in the era he was in, he was head and shoulders above everyone else, as was Roger Clemens, as was Rafael Palmeiro, guys like that. You can't say with any straight face they were only better because of steroids. Their numbers were better, but they were still great ball players. And it was an era when that was rampant. You can't just eliminate an entire era of the game. It's a museum, for crying out loud. It's supposed to chronicle the history of the game by highlighting the greatest players during each era. Well, to me, that's what it is. And I get the character clause and I get all of that. I see why they're not in. I just don't agree with it. In fact, you can tell by my passion, I vehemently don't agree with it. But after seeing what them getting less than 4 votes apiece was actually more shocking than anything about the announcement last night. I don't know that they have any chance now. To me, that door kind of got slammed last night, and it's just silly. I also believe Pete Rose should be in. I think he's paid he's served his time. He's paid the price. He gave to baseball way more than he took from it, and they have taken away so much from him at this point. He made a bad decision. Is that a lifetime decision? I don't know. I mean, man, I've got some issues, apparently. But Kurt Schilling not in either. In fact, he only got 7 votes. Mattingly got 8 votes. I'm telling you, it's interesting. Will Schilling ever get in? I mean, he didn't even get half. He certainly deserves to be in. So I'm going to show some cards, some pickups, done talking about the Hall of Fame for a moment. It's always a topic potentially for conversation. So hang on one second. Let me flip this around. We'll look at some cards. All right, here we go. Shameless reminder that tomorrow night I am going to be interviewing Chris, the director guy from Behind the Card, the documentary. And again, you still have time to get me a few questions. If you want me to ask him some stuff, that'd be great. So yeah, one seller was selling a bunch of tons of cards, and I needed a few of them. So I bought these 89 Topps All-Star cards. I would love higher grades, but these were, I think, a total of $30 for the 3 of them. So I got the Dave Winfield in a 7. These are all 4-decade set cards. Ozzie Smith in an 8. And Gary Carter in a 9. So I'm probably the only one on the planet that wants these cards, but I did, and I got them. So 3 All-Star cards for 89 Topps. That gets me closer on the 89 Topps set. I mentioned Kurt Schilling not getting elected. I think he still has a path. I mean, it's still possible for him. Here's this 89 Donruss rookie card and a 9, and then a 89 Donruss autograph card. So I'm ready. If he gets in ever, I'm ready. I've got his stuff. Fred McGriff, man, God, good for him. Seriously, absolutely good. What's cool is he only has 1 rookie card, 86 Donruss. He has an 87 Topps traded, and then he has 88, 89 Topps. So what's cool, I didn't have to add a ton of stuff to my list of cards I want to buy for Hall of Famers. But I already have McGriff's rookie card, so that's good. I don't have that autographed, ironically. I have so whenever we had a Hall of Famer, I want his rookie card, any Topps cards prior to 89. I want a graded autograph. I want a jersey card or memorabilia card. That's kind of my Hall of Fame, resume for each player. But this is, I have had this for a long time. I mean, you can see it's blue flip, for crying out loud. So long time that I've had this McGriff Tier 1 in anticipation of last night. This one's numbered to 50. Cool card. A mint 9 on the autograph. A little streaky at the end, but yeah, so I have that ready to go. And then any 5-star autographs for Hall of Famers I want as well. McGriff has one 2013. It's a pretty high number to 333. So there's plenty of these out there, but I've had this a long time, and I couldn't remember last night of what McGriff's 5-star situation was, and Jake was kind enough to remind me, and I looked, and sure enough, I had one. So that's it. Congratulations to the Crime Dog, and we'll celebrate his induction in July. Hope everybody has a great week coming up. We'll talk to you soon. Keep collecting.